we have a feature called rules that perform a set number of actions to our received and sent mail. These rules are going to help us stay organized and up to date with our information in our emails. And these rules are really just a set number of conditions that are based on the mail as far as who sent it, the importance of it, who the recipients are in that mail, specific words that might be contained, and then we're able to apply various actions like maybe moving the mail item or the message item to another folder, maybe deleting it, forwarding it to another address, replying to it, and even printing it out. Okay, so let's try a few here. The first one I want to do is I want to create a rule that does a particular set of actions. Let's say it's going to be where if I receive an email from a certain person, those messages will automatically be put into a different folder. So in other words, they'll initially come into the inbox, but then they'll be moved automatically from that inbox into another folder. And that's all going to be based on a condition being met, and the condition will be it's coming from a certain person. Okay, so that will be one we'll start with here, okay? So what do we do first? Well, in our screen here, we go to the Home tab here, and we have a choice here called Rules. But now before we do that, I'm going to find the person that I want to be involved with this rule. So I'm going to say that I'm going to go with this one right here, Tony, okay? So Tony is my par excellence website developer. He's responsible for what you saw on the website as far as the design of it and so forth. And I just want to make sure that any email that I receive from him will go into a special folder, okay? All right, so what we do first, we just go on one of his emails. We go over here into the rules, all right? And we have on here, always move messages from Tony, all right? So we click onto that. And we pick the folder. Now, I don't have a folder set up for him yet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here into the inbox here. And I've already got a couple folders that we had created in the past videos, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on to inbox here. I'm going to hit new, all right? And then I'm just going to type in Tony V, all right? And go ahead and hit OK. And there's the folder. So I'll choose that folder, hit OK. And what happens now is it takes all of the messages that I've already received from Tony and is going to put them into that folder that we set up. So there, it's all done. And if we take a look at the folder now, click on there, then you'll see all those email messages. All right, not bad. And also too, when new messages come in from Tony, they're going to be automatically going into that folder as well. So that's pretty cool. Now, to see where that rule is, in case we need to go in and maybe change it or something like that, all you have to do is just go back into Rules here and then tell it that you want to manage. So we click onto that and we get this. And you'll see that one right there. You'll see that it says apply this rule from Tony, move it to the folder, and that's pretty much it. Pretty straightforward deal there. All right. Let me now do one more similar to that, and we're going to do it a little bit differently. So let's say that, okay, so let's focus on let's say PetSmart, okay? And we want to kind of do basically this kind of same thing we did with Tony. Now I'm going to click on to PetSmart here. I'm going to go to Rules, but instead of doing this one, I'm going to tell it I want to create a rule. So I'm just going to click onto that. Now what that does, it kind of brings me up a little window here, and I can kind of fill it out as I need it. So in essence, you have to kind of read into it, and we're saying when I get mail from, okay, PetSmart, okay, and I can choose the subject as well, but that's going to be pretty strict, and most likely they're never going to be sending me another email message that has exactly the same subject, so I'm not going to worry about that. And of course it's being sent to me, and I'm sure it's being sent to 1,000,000 people. I don't care about that either. I don't need to know, I don't need to move only those messages that are only to me and nobody else, right? And then what I can do now with this is I can also, because this might be important mail to me, I would like to see a little alert window pop up to let me know that I just got an email message from PetSmart, okay? And then I can also tell it to play a particular sound if I wanted to. And I can browse for the sounds, but the one that we have here is fine. And of course I want to move it into a particular folder, probably not the Tony V that I just got done setting up. So I'm going to go over here to select folder, all right? And I'm going to go to my inbox, hit new, all right? And on this one I'll just type in PET. I guess we'll do PetSmart. Let's call it that. All right, we'll hit OK. And then we'll hit OK again, and that's it. Now, what we'll do now is hit OK. And then the one last thing, and this was already done for us like automatically when we did Tony, and that is I'd also like the rule to be run on the existing mail that I have in here. Not only the new stuff that's coming in, but also the old stuff. And that was kind of done already automatically for us the last time we did this. So hit OK on that. And there we go. That's it. So now all the PetSmart has now been put into the PetSmart folder, just like with the Tony folder, and so forth. So pretty good deal there. Alright, so now another rule I like to do is anytime I would receive an email, let's say from Capital One, it will be marked with a flag for a follow-up, and the email message will also be categorized, and we learned about those things a little bit earlier. So we want those things applied automatically to that email. And it'll also, when we do this, we'll also make it so where it applies it to the existing mail that we've already received, from Capital One, right? So what are we going to do? Well, first of all, what we'll do is we'll click on the rules, and this time though we're going to go to the Manage Rules and Alerts. And that brings us up so we can see our two rules that we already have. Now we're going to tell it that we're going to do a new rule. Now we already have a template in here that at least has the flagging part here, so we can actually click onto that. All right. Now when we do that, down at the bottom it has part of our criteria, I guess, for the rule so far. So what we need to do at this point before we go any further is to basically specify who the person is or the group or whatever it happens to be that we're looking at. So we're going to click on to that. All right, this opens up. Now if it's somebody that is in the list here, great, you just pick that name. But if you don't have them in the list but you've got their email address, you can go down to here, all right, and then you can kind of type in their address. I just copied it so I could save some time here. So we would just put that in there, say, versus, picking something from here. Hit OK, all right, so there it is, all right. And we're going to do a flag, and the type of flag we want to do is one where it'll mark it as something we need to take care of maybe tomorrow. So we're just assuming that emails from this particular person are going to be something that we're usually going to want to take care of. There's something in them that's always going to be directing us to do something, and that'll be for a tomorrow follow-up. So we'll hit OK on that one. Now we also want to categorize it as well, so we're going to go ahead and hit next, all right? And this is what we already have so far. So we're only just kind of focused on looking for mail from a particular person, none of these other things right now. So we're going to go ahead and hit next, okay? And then what do you want to do? Well, we already have it flagging. What we can also do though, so in this one we have on here assign it to a specific, or to a particular category. So I'll choose that, and then I go down here, and I click on the category, and I specify what I want it to be. And in this case, I'm going to say we're going to make it finance, for whatever reason, all right? So we'll choose that one, all right? hit OK. Perfect. And we can even mark it as important here, so we can actually click on it here. All right, and there's your importance right there. And we can say that we want this to be of high importance. All right, so they, you know, when they sent it, they didn't set it for high, but we're setting it for high once we receive it. All right, I think that'll be good for that. I guess maybe we could also play a sound. What the heck? All right, so then we'll go ahead and hit next. And we got that because the sound, you go over, click onto that. All right, we need to find a sound. Of course, I probably don't have any sounds in here. Let's see, we'll go to music here. Anything. Well, I don't have any sounds to go with, so I guess what we'll do here is we won't play a sound. How about that? All right. I'm sure I've got sounds somewhere. I'm just not going to go dig around for them, look for them. But anyway, so then we'll go ahead and hit next. All right. And now we've got our exceptions. And it's like, well, I don't have really any exceptions here. I want all messages that come from them to come through and to have all these things applied there. So we're okay on that. So I'll go ahead and hit next. All right. And that's about it. So now we're ready to finish this off. We obviously want the rule turned on, but we also want to apply the rule on messages that are already in the inbox, right? So we'll choose that as well. We'll hit finish, and there it goes. And as you can see already in the background, it's already done a few things. All right, let's hit OK on that. And that's it. And then we hit OK. Oh, there we go. All right, so that's it. I've got a lot of capital One messages, so you can see here it's like really kind of rifling through everything here, but there's quite a bit of stuff in there. But still, you look at this, not bad. Nice little setting there. So another example we can do is where my boss has directed me that anytime that I receive an email message from a particular person, that I forward that email to him, all right? So how would I do that? So how would I make it so where when I receive, let's say, an email, let's say from Andrea here, I get an email from her, I'll still receive it. It'll come in where it's at here in the inbox, but a copy will be forwarded, all right, to my boss, all right? So how are we going to do that one? All right, well, first of all, I'm going to go here to Rules. I'm going to just tell it Manage Rules here. And then I'll go ahead and tell it New Rule. I'm going to do this from a blank rule starting point here. So I'm going to click on to apply rule on messages I receive. So I'll click onto that. Nothing to do yet. So I'm just going to go hit next. All right. And then I'll go up here where it says from people or public groups. So I'll click on that there. And then down here, I'll click that. And because Andrea is not in my list here, I'm just going to go ahead and paste her in because I did that ahead of time. Save a little time there. But you type it in, hit OK. All right, so that's good. Now, no other criteria here, so I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And now, what do I want it to do? Well, I want to go tell it that I want to forward it, right? So I'm going to forward it to, right? Now, there are a couple ways you can do this. I can just forward it directly and have my hands off of it, or I'd have to forward it as an attachment. And if I do that, then I have to be there to then, you know, send it off on its way. So I just want this to be automated. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on to forward it there. Go down to here, click onto that. And let's just say I'm going to have it forwarded to my student B here. So I'll double click that. I'll pretend like that's my boss. Hit OK. Okay, that's about it. I mean, I could go there and I can say, well, it's an important thing probably, so maybe I'll flag it, all right, as well. And I can do follow up at this time, and I can specify that as we'll just leave it as a today. Hit OK on that, all right. Hit next, all right. We're not going to have any exceptions, and we want to run the rule Also because my boss complained that I haven't been sending him any of the emails, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to send them all. Anything I got from her is going directly to him. So that's it. And then once we've done that, we just go ahead and hit OK. And it runs through the rule. Okay, hit OK on that. And I'll go hit OK, and that's it. And there we go. You can see down below here how it's sending message 1, message 2. So there's 38 messages from her, and they're all going to be sent as separate emails, right, to student B. Student B, my boss, right? And because I've got the delivery option already set on this thing, it's also sending me an item on here telling me that it was delivered to my boss there. So I really don't need all those. I'm just going to go ahead and take every one of those and do a shift delete and get rid of all of them. All right. Okay, so we're going to do one more here, and this is going to be one where it's going to affect or be applied when I send an email to somebody. So in other words, if I send an email to a particular person, I want certain things to happen. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go back into, what do you remember? We go over to what, rules, right? We go to our rules and alerts, and this time around we're going to go hit new rule, but we're going to tell it that we want to do a rule and apply a rule on a message I send. Okay, so I'm going to choose that one, hit next. So I'm going to have it where it says sent to. All right, so I'm going to click onto that, and on here, and I'm just going to keep it real simple. I'm going to say that anytime that I send a message to student A, all right, and we'll just pretend like that's some customer or whatever, all right, hit OK, all right. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit next. I'm going to go down to here, and I'm going to say I want that message to be CC'd to, or carbon copied to, and I'm going to say to maybe student B here, okay, my boss. All right. And I'll also have it mark it with importance, and that importance down here will be of high importance. All right. So I could do that myself every time I send the mail, but this way it's done for me. I don't have to remember to do it. All right. But the important part is that it's getting carbon copied to my boss. So when I send it to person A, anytime I have an email that includes, person A, right, then person B then, or student B, is going to be getting a copy as if they're part of the email. All right, then I'll go ahead and hit next. I'm not going to have any exceptions. And again, I'm going to go ahead here and I don't know if I really need to run the rule per se. I mean, it's not going to do any good anyway. But, just in case they want to know some of the older messages I did too, I'll send those out as well. So I'll just run the rule, what the heck. Hit finish. And that's it. Hit OK. Hit OK, hit yes, and off it goes. Now, to see how that works, I'm going to click on the new mail. I'm going to send my message to student A. All right, there's A. Notice I'm not choosing B here, right? Hit OK. All right, and I'm just going to put message or send. I'll just say test B or something, right? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, now watch this. I go and send it off on its way. You'll see it updating the outbox, and then eventually it, well, that's about it. Okay, so now, all right, and there it is. Okay, so now a confirmation there. If I go now to my sent items, All right. There's the message I sent to, right, to student A, right? And I'm going to double click it just to show you what it looks like now. And you can see on here that it was carbon copied to B, even though I didn't put it in, I didn't put B into the carbon copy in the actual message. The rule did it for me when it went to send the message out. So that was pretty cool. Now we're going to tell it that we want only those emails where in the messages body, okay, or subject, all right, we'll just do both of those. And then we'll go down below here. The specific words are going to be, in this case, Microsoft Visio, let's say, right? And we can hit add on that. And we can also do, we can actually do more than just one, phrase. We can say also maybe something like Microsoft, we'll say project. And add that one in there. And we'll do one more. And we'll say maybe Adobe Acrobat. All right. Add those in there. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and hit OK. Just like that. And then we'll go ahead and hit next. And I think what we'll do is we'll have it, we'll actually move it. That's what we'll do. We'll move it to a specific folder. All right. And the folder, we don't have anything in there yet, so what we'll do is we'll say new. And the folder will be, we'll call this one Power User. All right. So we'll go ahead and hit OK on that. All right, and then we've got Power User, and then we'll hit OK there. And I'd also like to assign it a category. So I'm going to go and click onto that. Go down to where it says Category, click that. And we're going to actually assign it a different category than what we have here. So I'm going to click on the New. All right, I'm going to call this one Seminar, because those are what we usually do seminars on. So we want to kind of categorize it for that. So in case we need to find all the emails that have to do with those programs, or I should say, that we would involve in a seminar, let's say, for training and all that, we can dig it up that way as well. All right. Then we'll go ahead and give it a color. I don't know, give it yellow, green. We'll give it green. All right. No, we'll give it yellow. We already have green in there. All right. So yellow. There we go. Okay. So we do that. Hit OK. It's got the check mark in there. That's good. We hit OK. We're set. All right, then we're going to go ahead and hit next. We don't have any exceptions, and we'll also run the rule so that you can see what it does, and then hit finish. And that's it. All right. Hit OK there, hit yes on there, and you'll see it running down there at the bottom. All right, looks like it's all done there. So that's it. Now, what we can do is I'll go over here to my Power User folder, and there we go. So there's all of the emails that have something to do with any of those three in there that we've got there, right? And you can see they've all got the seminar in there. Looks pretty good. Not bad. So pretty good little deal there. Okay, now let's say that I decide maybe at a later time that I no longer want those messages to be thrown into the Power User folder, but I still want them to be marked, in yellow like you saw with the category. But I just don't want them to be in the Power User folder. I don't want them to be thrown in there. So how would I do it? How would I change that? Well, what we would do is we go back into Rules here. All right, go back down to Manage Rules. All right. And then we go find that rule. In this case, there it is right there. And what I'm going to do then is we're going to go ahead and edit that rule. So we go ahead and change the rule here. And edit the rule settings. There we go. So there's the rule. And in this case, what we're going to do is hit the next button here. And we're going to tell it that we don't want to move it to a specific folder. So we're going to take that out. We're going to leave everything else in there. All right, so everything else will be the same. And then we'll go ahead and hit finish. and hit OK, hit OK, hit yes, all right. And that's it. So at that point, then you might say to yourself, well, then, because I've got that going, maybe what I'll do is I'll just go over here to the power user, click onto one of the emails, and hit a Control A. That will just select everything. And then I'll just point to one of them and drag it back to the inbox right here, see? And then I'll go to the power user here. I'll do a right click on that. I'll tell it to delete the folder, hit yes, and that's it. Go back to the inbox, and then as I scroll through there, you'll see some of the yellow ones in there. So pretty cool deal there. Okay, so I know I told you earlier that I only had a few to show you here, but I just thought of another one I thought might be helpful here. Let's say that you've got a company or an organization out there that where there's a number of people that come from that same domain. Okay, so in my situation, let's say I've got a lot of different people that I work with over at one of the colleges, let's say. And I want to make sure that anytime that I get an email from anybody at that college, something will happen. All right, something will be performed as far as a rule goes. All right, you know, it might be we could put those messages into a special folder or what have you, or we can flag them or categorize them or something like that. But in this case, well, I think what we'll do is we'll just have it so where if we receive an email from any of them, it'll go into a specific folder. Okay. So how do we make that happen? Well, the first thing we're going to do is, and I'll tell you what we're going to do ahead of time, it's going to be anybody from harper.edu, okay? That'll be their domain, all right? So anybody from there, from that college, will end up getting moved into a special folder that we will set up, all right? So we'll go back into Rules, and then we'll go ahead and hit Manage Rules. So we're going to do a new rule based on received. All right, hit Next, and then down towards the bottom here we have something here called with specific words in the sender's address. Okay, so we'll click onto that. Click on that there, and what we're going to do is we're going to type in harper.edu. Okay, and we can go ahead and hit Add. And if it happened to be another organization as well that you wanted to share, you know, this rule with, then you could add those as well. But this will be good for that. We'll hit OK. And then we'll go ahead and hit Next. Now the main thing we wanted to do was we wanted to assign it to or move it to a different folder. All right, so we'll click onto that specific folder. And on here, we'll just go and hit New. And we're going to type in Harper College there, let's say. Hit OK. There we go. Hit OK again. And there we go. I thought this was kind of interesting as far as move a copy, or in other words, make a copy and put a copy into a specific folder. So you can leave it out on the regular inbox, but it could also be in the Harper one as well. That's an interesting one to look at as well. All right, and then once we've done that, we'll go ahead and hit Next. We're not going to have any exceptions, and we'll go ahead and run this on the existing emails we have as well. So there we go. We hit Finish. All right. Now just go ahead and hit OK. Hit Yes. And there we go. And you can see it doing its thing down there. And now if I go back to my inbox here and go to Harper, and I realize, oh my God, it wasn't just Harper, it was actually harpercollege.edu. I'm an idiot. So how do I fix it? What do I do here? Well, we're going to go back into the rules, all right? Manage our rules. Go back over to the Harper one here that we have. Change the rule, edit the rule, and over here, where it's got with the harper.edu in the sender's address, we click onto that. We can click on that and remove that. And on this one, we'll just do Harper. We're going to salvage that. Harper College.edu. Add that one. There we go. Hit OK. And then we'll just go ahead and finish it off here. We'll run the rule. Hit finish. Hit OK. Hit yes. And hopefully we get something in there now. Oh, there it is. It must have had a little bit of delay there. Okay, so there you go. So hopefully this is of some help. And by the way, too, let me just say one more thing. If there is a rule or so that you just want to temporarily stop from happening, or if you want to get rid of it, again, all you have to do is you go back into Rules. You go to your Manage Rules. And at this point, you either de-check them, and that would just put them out of commission temporarily until you put the checks back in, or what you can do is click onto them and then hit the delete. So if I wanted to get rid of the PetSmart one, I could click onto that, hit delete, hit yes, it's gone. That's it. So now from now on, the email will just come in the way it does and the way it should normally, and nothing will be affected. All right. That's about it. So appreciate you watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care.